This is a day that the Lord has made. Welcome, everyone. My name is Vanessa, and as you can tell from the title, this is about when I quit my job. Let's just get right into it. A few years ago, I was living in the city. I had an apartment. My son was in a new school, but he had made friends and he was enjoying his time. I worked for a great company that almost weekly there was some kind of fun happening. We lived in an expensive apartment that had a lot of nice amenities, which meant we lived in a nice location, so around us we were surrounded with lots of great things to do. I feel like we were doing stuff every evening of some sort. My child had made friends in our apartment complex. He had friends in the neighborhood. He was taking the bus for the first time ever because I never let him ride the bus before. So you made friends, on the bus as well. I was making acquaintances at work and building relationships at work all the way on up. Acquaintances at the local cafe, everywhere. It was like life was perfect, living the city life in an apartment. Then COVID happened. My child got a little sad, a little depressed. He wanted to move back to our hometown. So I'm going to distinguish my hometown from city life. That's how I will distinguish two places. So my hometown, I lived in basically my whole life, and so did my son. The city life, we had lived there. By the time COVID hit, we were there for about 8 months. So I was at the point anyways that I was starting to research what is next for us, because as you know, when you live in an apartment, usually it's a 1-year lease. I'm the type of person, I need a rate of return. There was going to be no return in this apartment life. The reason I moved into the apartment was just to get our feet wet, to figure out, was this going to be a good move? The whole reason we moved to the city from our hometown was for a fresh start. And I'll get a little bit more into that a little later. I was at a point anyways, because I do a lot of research before I make any decision. Was I going to renew the lease? Was I going to move to a different apartment? Was I going to buy a house? Or better yet, was I going to purchase a townhome that had amenities like an apartment that I was going to own and could later then sell it to get my return? I even contacted my realtor. My realtor took me to look at different places. Everything was expensive. Of course, city life, expensive. My hometown was cheap. So the cheapest home was going to take a lot of work. So I was not only going to be making an expensive house payment, but also having to pay to fix it up. Even though it was cheaper, doesn't mean that equated to a cheap monthly payment, because city life is expensive no matter where you're going to live. I had been praying, because anytime I make a decision, I consult with my Lord. Somewhere, somehow I received from him, look back to your hometown. So I started looking back home. There were so many houses being built since I had left. I found the perfect location. As a child, I always wanted to live right by the school, to walk to school. I wanted to give that to my child. I felt like the Lord was telling me, child, you wanted to move, you wanted a fresh start. So I let you move, gave you lots of opportunities, gave you lots of experiences. But now it is time to go back home, because there's COVID and you need to be close to family and support. So I started the process to move. I didn't tell my job because I didn't even know when I was going to move. During COVID, I'm sure many of you know that things were being delayed in shipment, things were being delayed in manufacturing. So the date for me to move into my new home kept changing. When I finally got a final solid date to move in, that's when I put in my resignation at my job. I had no intention of looking for a new job. I had money in the bank because before I had moved to the city, I had 2 cars, sold one. So I had money sitting in the bank from that. And the new home we were going back to in our hometown was going to be my 5th home purchase. So I had money from my 4th home purchase sitting in the bank. My 3rd home basically is where I had raised my son for his first 8 years. I thought that was going to be the forever home because that's how I was raised. You raise your family in your foundation, you grow your roots. But that 3rd home ended sadly. There was a very sad story, which I will not go into details about. And about 2 years prior to that ending, I had lost my mother. So 2 extreme hardships, burdens, disasters, every bad word you can think of happened to me and my son. And I kept pushing, I kept operating. I didn't take time off because I'm a single mom and I needed to provide for my child. When I left the city life to go back home and live in my 1st brand new construction type home, I had no intention to find a job. I had money saved in the bank. I trusted the Lord that He would provide. So my last day working was May 29th. I did not look for a job. I didn't apply anywhere, but a job found me and I started June 15th. Only had about 2 weeks off. I seriously thought I was going to have a whole year off. I enjoyed every day of not having a job, trusting in the Lord, knowing He was going to provide. The new job that came to me was better than I could have ever imagined. I did a little bit of negotiating, which that's not like me. But like I said, I had Lord with me. I had God with me, that I was unstoppable. There was nothing that I was afraid of when I'm 100% with the Lord. I have no fear. Got everything I asked for. The whole point of this video, because this is my Sunday, like God spiritual type of video, is build that relationship with the Lord. Trust Him. Spend time with Him. He will speak to you. He will tell you exactly what path to take. And it will be greater, far greater than you can ever plan for, than you can ever budget for, than you can ever imagine. I have been doing this, trusting the Lord, since I was 10 years old. I'm a living testimony how great His love is, how great He is. Life is not perfect. I've gone through storms, but I come out stronger, better because of the Lord. I love Him so much. He's so amazing. It doesn't come easy. You have to repent for any bad thing you've done, and He gives you a fresh start. But you work hard here, and He does the supernatural. He does the impossible. He does the unfathomable for you. You guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember, today will be what you make of it. Please like, please share, please comment, please subscribe, and I will see you next time.